What's up, my name is Anthony, and welcome to another episode of a film review, and today we're reviewing Caleb Farley, number 3, this guy who made this video. I'll leave a link in the description, but he does a really good job at circling where he's at. There's some plays where he's not really involved in, so you see a lot of flashing, so sorry if the play abruptly ends, because you wouldn't see that much. Usually cornerbacks are off the field a lot, so you want to see when they're targeted, but this is him versus Miami. This is a pretty good game. This is last year, and let's see how he does. So he's good press man. He's a good press man corner. He's good being a little bit physical. I worry about him being physical with the top defensive backs. I think he can work in the slot. I think he can work at free safety. I think he can work in a lot of positions. I didn't do a lot of reading on this guy because I wanted to do the basic reading, like torn ACL. That's a problem. But this guy is quick. He's fast. He's relatively instinctual. Take a look at this. Sometimes he whiffs on tackles, but I mean, this dude, I'd think about drafting him top 10 if the wide receivers are gone. Take a look at this deep ball, and he makes the interception. Just sometimes his speed is a little bit too good for him because he does catch up to the wide receiver, and sometimes he doesn't know where the ball is. Sometimes you can get in trouble running. That's what happens with C.J. Henderson a lot. But yeah, I think he's in the conversation being better as Surtain. I mean, both have their own positives and negatives. But I think this guy's closing speed, you can use him as a free safety if you're the Giants. He wouldn't really work as strong, but we don't really need that. We have Jabril Peppers. We have, Xavier McKinney, who has more in-box and that type of size. But, I mean, I'm just really amazed when I'm watching this guy. This is another red zone thing. He has the size. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. Again, a little bit small, but that allows him to be fast. He has a little bit of a weird technique. I'm not sure, but it works. It definitely works. It doesn't matter how you look. Everyone doesn't need to look the same as long as you're getting the job done. That's really all that matters. Here's another interception. 2 interceptions this game. He had 2 tackles and 1 pass defended. Just undercut the route. Isn't that what you need from the Giants? Don't you need speed? Don't you need more versatility? With this year, we've had to play a lot of zone coverage. And with Caleb Farley, especially, take a look, he offers some blitzing technique because he is so fast. He can, let's zoom back a little bit, but he can offer some things as far as zone blitzes that I miss. Yeah, he could just, boom, get to the quarterback really fast. I mean, Logan Ryan could do it, but he's getting a little bit old. He's getting only slower. This guy is fast, and you can use him some corner blitzes. Patrick Graham, I think, will find very many uses for this guy because he's quick. James Bradbury isn't that quick, but he offers his own things. If we can play more man, it will allow our defense to become more versatile. So this next year, when people start studying on our defense, on Patrick Graham's defense, they have some things unexpected coming into the game. Because this year we couldn't really run a lot of man on man until that final game against Dallas, where Julian Love did pretty well. But let's get back into what he's actually doing here. This is a third quarter, and he doesn't have this. He doesn't have this speed where he could just catch up to defensive backs once they make a slant. He has fluid hips, which is what you need in a free safety. Again, close to the line of scrimmage with blockers, that's not where he's going to excel. Press man, yes. But once he has to shed a blocker, he does struggle a little bit with that, so it's hard. I think he's a little bit below average as far as that aspect. But, man on man, he trusts his speed right here. And pass breakup. This is a penalty, I think. Yeah, this is a penalty. But I think it's a little bit of a bogus call. Again, his speed probably cost himself here a little bit because he catches up to him so quickly. But in the NFL, that's going to be an accurate pass, and he's going to be able to break that up. Struggles a little bit as far as high pointing the ball sometimes. But I think you can teach that. Especially, Patrick Graham, we have the coaching. But you can't teach speed. And this guy has speed. He has maybe a weird technique, but I mean, wow, I'm kind of speechless when it comes to this guy. Surtain, he's a great tackler. He's a great tackler, but this dude, he's a great cover guy. He's a lot of quarterbacks aren't going to target him, and maybe when they do target him, they make a little bit of mistakes. But another great pass deflection right there. That could have been 3 interceptions. 3 in one game. I mean, this quarterback is not that great. He's underthrowing some balls, but you're going to have to throw beautiful balls in order to get, past this guy. In the NFL, I guess the receiver's a little bit faster, but this guy's legitimate 4.3 speed. And I want to see what he runs in 3 cone. In this play, he realizes rushing the passer. Oh, wait, smart instincts right there. He realizes that there's a guy going to be running out. I'll play it one more time. Realizes that there's a guy running out. Okay, I'll cover him. That's my responsibility. So he's being taught well as well. I'm not sure if that, I'm not sure about his coaching because, Justin Herbert's the boy. Not sure about their coaching 100%. I don't know Virginia's defensive back coach. I know that they don't produce a lot of defensive backs. So this guy obviously has some certain traits that they really like. I like how he puts his hands on some defensive backs and kind of slows them down a little bit. He controls them and he gets away with some things. And obviously that dumb penalty before, I don't think that's going to be called in the NFL. Maybe it does because the NFL is kind of favoring offenses here. But another play right here, this one he gets burned on. And if we go back on it, he kind of gets fooled to the inside. So let's watch this entire play, entire play in its entirety. I mean, he may have slipped. I can't really tell, but he was right there on him. That was the one play really in the entire game he made a mistake. It wasn't great. This is crunch time right here. You have to stay to the outside. You have help right here. Stay to the outside. Don't get fooled right there. The one place you can't get fooled on is the outside. Don't get fooled to the outside. You can always work on the inside. So obviously there's some things he needs to improve on. Did Miami come back in this game? Did they really come back? Number 3, just getting blocked by number 2. Can't shed the blocks that well. And, they did end up winning it, I think. Maybe. I don't know. You know how many reps he's had this game? It's 35. This is a high-scoring game. It's just like, I'm done. Towards the end of the game, you kind of lose your speed a little bit, which may have to do a little bit with conditioning. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. And now let's watch some Notre Dame stuff. Why not? I'll leave, again, 2 links in the description below on him. But he can cover tight ends, I think, fairly well up the seam. I think that could be something he would be good at. Maybe in like a Davante Adams. But precise route runners, obviously, you're going to fool a lot of guys, especially younger guys. But he can be physical. Again, he's good at press man. And with what do you call it? I think this is Cook. What's his name? What's the Notre Dame's player? He just didn't target Caleb Farley this entire game because he wasn't open. Nobody was open. He does struggle a little bit sometimes with with zone coverage, especially. That's something he does need to work a little bit on, but you get used to a scheme, I think you're fine. If you're fast, you have the athletic abilities, and he has some smarts like we highlighted before, I think you're going to be fine right here. So take a look at, top right of the screen. That's where he is right here. He's pointing, saying where he needs help. Probably here let up a little bit too much to the inside. Let's watch that again, this play again. But this is a physical guy, physical receiver. No, I think he'll be good with speedy wide receivers and, just catching up to him and just shutting them down. That's what I think he's going to excel in. His hips low, keeping the choppy steps right here. Again, fluid hips. This is Notre Dame trying to win. And like when they're trying to win right here, you're down. You're not going to target Caleb Farley. You're just not. And in this play, they're going to show the actual, film. So hips, keep a little solid base low. Choppy step, chop, and then slips. But, that's what you want right there. You don't want to let up the deep. You give them the 5-yard completion every single day of the week. Every single day of the mother effing week. Obviously not huge, but put on 2, 3, 4 pounds for the NFL. Now, he's similar size to a Jeff Okudah of the world. But, this one, again, going deep shot, no, closing speed. Closing speed right here allows the interception for number 17. From the 2 games that I watched, every single snap, pretty much, he's instinctual. He is not the biggest man in the world, but he gets the job done. And I think that's what you want in a Giants cornerback. You want a guy that's quick, that can close on the ball. Now, he kind of looks similar to Corey Ballantyne, but Corey Ballantyne wasn't going against top receivers. This guy's going against top receivers in the ACC. Notre Dame has more big receivers, but you're going against some fast people in the ACC. You're not going against in Washburn. You're not in Washburn. This is not another that situation. And, the quarterbacks are decent enough where they're going to put the ball where it's going to, where it should be. Just reading the screen right there pretty well. I think this is maybe another screen that he tries to read, but he doesn't read it that well. You see a lot of these dumb plays. You're going to see a lot of these just the plays that this guy has just not being targeted. They're running away from him. Away away. Even if when you're on the left hash, still go to the left side. I think it might be this one. But he barely touches the guy. It's this one, look. What? They called a foul on that play. I'm like, that's kind of unfair right there. But just following the guy. And yeah, so as far as the legitimate conversation taking him, I don't think we will. But whoever takes him is going to get a really good player. He's not, I guess, NFL ready. Give him a camp and he'll be NFL ready. He kind of, again, looks like a CJ Henderson who played fairly decently in his first couple of games. I think you'd slot him in the NFL as long as you have the speed. Get him in there and you'll figure it out. And our defense right now has a lot of veteran players. Has James Bradbury, Jabril Peppers. You could just put him in there, and I think first couple of games you have limited amount of snaps with him. I'm acting as if we actually drafted him, but I gotta pretend. And here's a minute 45 left. This team is trying to drive down the field, and he's kind of just he's trying to do his best right here. There's only so much you can do at one corner of the field. He's being targeted on this play right here. Outside boundary. I think he does get his foot in bounds, but in the NFL, that's not a catch. But yeah, so let's take a look at these final plays in the fourth quarter. Being targeted to the end zone. Shut him down. Even if the ball was on target. The guy wants a penalty. Nope. Take a look at him. Open up his hips. Looking where the ball is going to be. Got him. Sometimes he relaxes a little bit late, but everyone does. You're going to make mistakes. You're not going to have a perfect cornerback. Sometimes you act a little bit second late, but that happens to every single cornerback. You're not going to defend 100% of your passes, and that's just the reality of it. But this dude is going to be at a point to make a play, and the more chances you get to make the play, the more interceptions you can make. I think Caleb Farley is a decent prospect for the Giants.